generally the way it works. It's a, you know, it's a 6-day, well, it's a 7-day week, but Monday is, you know, a pitch meeting where the host comes in and the writers, and they all, the writers and the cast sit down in a room in Lauren's office usually and introduce themselves, and they pitch ideas where they'll say, you know, I have a great idea for a Kentucky Fried Chicken where you're this, or whatever the idea might be. And they get feedback from the host for the first time, especially if there's someone that hasn't been on before, and the writers can get a little feedback. Sometimes there's an established relationship where it's someone that's been back before and they, you know, they know them. Like Alec Baldwin's a good example. But pitch meeting, it's always, the history of it is very interesting, because you'll hear other writers and cast members talk about it and how it's kind of like a funny show. They just, sometimes they'd pitch ideas, crazy ideas, and they'd never even write them. And then sometimes they'd not pitch, and, you know, pitch old stuff and write something else. And but it's just a formality in terms of getting to meet the host and see if you can get any feedback from them. There may be something that they don't want to touch in terms of a sensitive subject, or something that's current, and God knows, you know, if they're currently in the news for something strange or something, you know, controversial, they might say, listen, I don't want to do a sketch about that. Okay, so that's Monday. And then Tuesday, the writers are responsible for writing. So they're basically spend all night Tuesday. They generally are on a late schedule. So I don't think they come in until, they usually, I think they go to dinner Mondays or Tuesdays sometimes with the host. It all depends. And I don't know, because I don't participate until Wednesday. But Tuesday is writing day. Scripts are due Wednesday. And that's when most of the production staff comes in to participate. So of the written material, there are approximately 30 scripts ready on Wednesday morning. And they print them out in an order, 15 and 15 roughly, just it varies over the weeks. And we will get a stack of scripts. Some people do it on their tablets, but generally we still have the paper scripts. And there's about 30 scripts. And we come in Wednesday, 3 o'clock. And read-through is supposed to start. Everyone sits in the read-through room. Around the table are all the cast members. The host and Lauren sit at the head, and they read. We read the scripts, basically like a cold table read, like any play or theater would do their pieces. And all the production staff sits around them. So it's a huge packed conference room with everybody. So wardrobe is there, and makeup is there, and special effects are there, and sound effects are there, and everybody. And they get a sense of, when they read the script, they'll get a sense of what the sketch is about, and they'll, you know, well, I'll write my little notes. Oh, you need to jump out of a window here, and I'll put a little note on it. Or, you know, there's another part of the sketch where they crawl under an air conditioning vent. You know, all these little notes you take, and Wednesday night, the about 15. It varies a lot, but the sketches will be picked. So they'll say, you know, sketch 1, sketch 7, sketch 8 is going to be, and they give us a little rundown of the list. And they'll be like sketch 12 is going to be a pre-tape, so that's a different thing altogether. It's going to be done by a different team for a pre-tape. And the picks are made Wednesday. And then everyone goes home. Well, then we lay out the drawing of we have a blank ground plan of the studio, and we lay out with Don, the director, where all the sets will play. And sometimes we'll contribute our opinion about maybe it would be better to put a set here or there. And we'll come to a conclusion that, okay, maybe yes, maybe no, and for whatever reason. Lay out the studio. The writers and cast members come in and discuss each of their sketches, or are supposed to. Some are better than others about coming in and sharing what they want, and some of them entrust us with, you know, it's fine, we don't need to talk to them, it's the living room, whatever. But we like to ask them more specifically, or show them pictures. You like this living room we did last time? We could do it a little different, but, you know, maybe different textures, but the same layout works. And Don will tell us where he wants the doors or windows or whatever critical elements. And after that, we go to work drawing it. Everyone goes home, and we draw the show. By hand still, with a pencil. Like, not everyone works that way anymore. Very fewer and fewer people. But we draw the show by hand, and then we duplicate the drawings, and we kind of split up. So on Wednesday night, the shop comes and picks up the drawings. But on Thursday, we all go our separate ways. Eugene and Leo, actually, they stay in the studio. They don't really go elsewhere, but they stay in the studio and they oversee the actual rehearsal. So if there were, like we said, 12 sketches, they would rehearse maybe 6 of them on Thursday and 6 of them on Friday. So it's a real race against time. So they will stay in there and communicate to me when they decide, geez, we don't want to, we've had it happen, we don't want a McDonald's anymore. We want it to just be a Boston Market. And you're like, all right, well, can it be the same? We just change the Formica. We'll discuss how we can most efficiently do it. If it was completely built already, we try to make it efficient and make some adjustments. If it hasn't been built yet, we'll just say, all right, we'll redraw it.
And what time? So we'll talk about when they start getting built.
So they're in the studio dealing with that rehearsal process. And then to follow, Keith takes the set of drawings, and he's responsible for, on Thursday and Friday, getting all the dressing and all the decoration for the show. Some say it's kind of like that's why we all hold production designer titles, because even though the work splits up later, we're still overseeing our individual sketches, so to speak. But Keith goes and does also what probably a set decorator or set dresser or art director would normally do, and he goes and acquires all of the rented stuff: furniture, carpets, sconces, wallpaper, everything that, pictures for the wall, mirrors, all that stuff. And he has a team of outside prop people that help him do that. And I go out to Brooklyn and I'm responsible for all the construction. I go to the shop and I oversee putting the actual physical constructed set together. We finish the drawing usually Wednesday nights at about midnight 1. It varies. Sometimes it's been later, sometimes it's been earlier. But I go back into the shop about 6:10. I get picked up. So I'm in the shop by 6:20, usually 6:30. And the carpenters start at 7. But it gives me a half an hour kind of buffer to look through all the drawings and talk to the other people that are at the shop and say, listen, this set is supposed to be all brass Formica. So we look at the materials, and in that half hour, we break down any materials that need to be purchased that aren't available in the shop. So Formica, I look at vacuform, where we make fake brick or fake cinder block, specialty things, all kinds of specialty things. Who knows? Metal, if we have to weld something, I check and see, do we have enough aluminum? Do we have enough metal? And we make a quick list of what special things I need. Then the carpenters come in, and I start distributing the sets one set at a time, and literally discuss with each carpenter, do you understand our drawing? Usually they don't understand it all, because we draw it so fast that's my position, to kind of discuss everything from molding. What molding, we may draw the molding, but it's not like a real architecture or even a real set drawing usually has a very specific breakdown of sections of moldings and all that detail. Sometimes we just can't get it all drawn, so I will pick and make those decisions and oversee that. So Thursday, 6 a.m., I'm sometimes there till 6:10. I'm there 6:30 until 8 o'clock at night. And then I do it again on Friday. Late Friday, we're there till we're done Friday, like till the shop is done constructing the show on Friday in terms of from the shop.